There are many different ways to go about solving mathematical problems, but it's always important to have a strategy. Here is one simple three-step strategy. First, be sure you understand the problem. For example, decide what units you expect for the answer, approximately what you might expect the answer to be, and what information you'll need to solve the problem. Second, once you understand the problem, you can carry out any calculations necessary to solve it. Finally, be sure your result makes sense and explain it in a way that makes clear what you've learned. Let's put this strategy in a corner to remember it and apply it to the example of figuring out how far a light year is. Step 1 is to understand the problem so that we can set it up properly. The question asks how far, so we know the answer should be a distance. In this case, the distance that light can travel in 1 year. We know that light travels at the speed of light. We abbreviate the speed of light with the letter c. Its value is 300,000 kilometers per second, a value that is precise to the nearest 1,000 kilometers per second. This means that the first two zeros are significant digits, so there are 3 significant digits in this quantity. We can make this clear by writing the speed in scientific notation, where we can show all 3 significant digits clearly. You may already know how to go from a speed to a distance, but if you don't, it can help to think of a simpler but analogous problem. For example, you might think about the simple question, how far can your car travel in 2 hours? You know that if you're traveling at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, then in 2 hours you go 100 kilometers. That is, we multiply the speed times the time to find the distance. Notice how the hours cancel, so that the answer has units of kilometers, a distance. By the same reasoning, a light year must be the speed of light times 1 year. Now that we understand the problem, we're ready for step 2, solving it. In this case, we just need to carry out the calculation. We start by putting in the numbers for the speed of light and 1 year. Because the speed is given in kilometers per second, while the time is 1 year, we need to convert the year into seconds. We can do this with a chain of conversions. First, we convert the year to days by multiplying by 365 days per year. Then we convert to hours by multiplying by 24 hours per day, to minutes by multiplying by 60 minutes per hour, and to seconds by multiplying by 60 seconds per minute. Notice that the seconds at the end cancel with the seconds in the speed at the beginning, and all the units in between also cancel, leaving only the units of kilometers, which is a distance, just as we expect for the answer. You can multiply the numbers on a calculator. The result is 9.46 times 10 to the 12th kilometers, or 9.46 trillion kilometers. Note that we give the answer with 3 significant digits to match the 3 in the speed of light. In fact, the 1 year in this case also has 3 significant digits because we used 365 days in a year, which is precise to the nearest day, since a year is actually about 365 and 1/4 days. We're done with the calculations, but we still have to do step 3, making sure the result makes sense and explaining it. We can see that the answer makes sense. It came out as a distance, as we knew it must, and it's a very large distance, which makes sense because light travels very fast. To explain the answer, we can simply give a sentence that shows what we've learned, such as 1 light year is about 9.46 trillion kilometers. Or, to make the key point easier to remember, we can state that 1 light year is close to 10 trillion kilometers.